This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through your Flagstaff E-Pro model E12 SRK. Alright. This trailer has a solar panel on it to charge your battery. It also has a power inverter. Now the inverter, if you don't know, inverts power. It inverts 12 volts DC over to 110 AC. This also has a power converter on it, which does just the opposite. It converts 110 AC over to 12 volt DC. So it has both of those. Now the only thing that you can invert here, it's wired. The inverter is wired to the refrigerator, right here, and to this plug right here. Okay, so if you come up to the front here, I'll show you that you have two deep cycle marine batteries. They're wired so the output is 12 volt DC. You just double the storage basically. You have two LP tanks, a power tongue jack, bike rack. Now this bike rack, there's also another piece inside that's just like this one here. Hopefully you can see that. I can't get it good. There we go. Except it angles forward and backward, so you can always use that if you need to get a little room in the front or the back. Also, this is set up here like this at the factory, but you're going to reverse every other piece on both these sides. So you'll be hanging one bike on the inside and one bike on the outside of it. Okay, keep that in mind. As we go around the outside, that's where your plug is, obviously, for your power cord. It's a 30 amp power cord. That's right there. Okay, let me see if I can get a picture of it right there. Alright, your crank for your stabilizer jacks is right here. Alright, hopefully you can see that. I'm having a hard time seeing the monitor in this light here. So I told you that there's another piece for your bike rack. That's it right there. So you can insert that in there, and you can move them forward or back. Alright, last but not least, you have this LP hose here. It's a quick connect hose, and this connects your grill to the system. You can see back here, let's see where it's at here. Oh, it's going to be hanging by the rail here. So right here on the door side, that is the quick connect to hook that hose to. Your grill hangs right on this rail here. Okay, all right. Excuse me. So the inverter, hold it for a second here. This is the switch for your inverter. So now it's off. You don't leave it on all the time because you don't need to be inverting power all the time unless if you're pulling it down the road, you can do that. But if you have no need to invert power, there's no need to have it on. Okay, so you just push it and it lights up green. It's converting your battery 12 volt DC over to 110 AC. Now this device next to it is a converter, so it converts 110 AC over to 12 volt DC. So you have 110 AC on this side. You got regular household circuit breakers, if you can see that, and they're labeled, and then it's converted to 12 volt DC here. You've got 12 volt fuses that are labeled. Okay. Also, if as long as you're plugged into shore power, this is a battery tender, and it'll keep your battery charged up as long as you're plugged in. So it'll charge your 12 volt batteries also. This device here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is, the pilot light. If it's ever not, then you want to get it serviced. But if this goes off, obviously you get outside, you shut off the gas and figure out what's going on. But it's an important thing, so keep in mind that if it's not green, you want to get it serviced. Alright, that's your furnace there. Your thermostat is self-explanatory, is right there. The thermostat for your furnace, all the way to the left till it clicks to the left, is off. So, okay. And it's just analog, so it's very basic. In this box here, you have your griddle and the mounting rack. These are two kayak racks. I'm told you're getting two more. This device here is just a step that goes on the tire out here. You just slide it onto the tire from the front till it's in place, and you can step on it to raise yourself up. Okay, I'm going to get in here now for a second. This table right here hangs on the outside rail next to the grill. These are just tie downs, and this is a cover here. Okay, this is just stuff here that comes with it. Your spray hose. You can add this this water filter if you choose. It's got the white thing, circular thing there is the wrench for it, so you can add a water filter if you choose to do so. You have to change it every season if you do, though. So you're going to put a new one in the spring and throw it out in the fall. And this device here is a tire pressure and temperature sensor. So it has to be programmed. You can even get the caps that will fit on your tow vehicle, so you could even program your tow vehicle into it if you want. But you'd have to get the sensor caps. Alright, now the wheels on this trailer, the sensors are built right into the wheels, so they're actually directly opposite from the valve stem, up against the wheel on the inside of the tire is where the sensors are for this. But like I said, you can get caps and add your tow vehicle, program your tow vehicle into this also. Okay? Alright, so that just about covers it inside. Let's get up here. I'm going to close the converter here. Alright, so this is your radio. It also will, you can stream off a USB stick right here. You can hook up wirelessly with your phone or tablet and stream audio, video. It has two zones, zone 1 and zone 2, inside and outside the trailer. And this is an HDMI in, okay? And if you're electrical, if you're a handy person and you wanted to customize it, you can patch this from the back also if you need to, if you wanted to do something else. So keep that in mind. There's more you can do with it. Okay, so also this device right here is actually, the sticker right here is telling you that this has a Wi-Fi Ranger on it. It's on the roof. You'll see it's got two little antennas. Let me see if I can find the switch. This would be it right here, right there. So basically, let me get up closer so I can see it here. When you're looking on your phone, for example, or your tablet, you'll look for Sky4 LTE.5656. That's you. All right. So this is a very good signal booster for public Wi-Fi. That's the most common use for it. Now, if you want to see what the Wi-Fi Ranger sees, the bottom line is an IP address. You would go to that IP address right there and use the temporary password of Change Me Now 5656 you can make up whatever password you want for it. So to see what the Wi-Fi Ranger sees, you'll go to the IP address, and obviously you'll look in your Wi-Fi settings for Sky 4 LTE 5656, which is you. All right. So the idea is all your devices you'll hook to the Wi-Fi Ranger. You'll put in the password so it automatically connects. Then when you get to the campground or any kind of public Wi-Fi, you would go to that IP address and then hook up to the public Wi-Fi. Really good signal booster, like I said. It'll make a big difference. Also, there's a second function with this, just so you know. It's a paid function. You would have to go to whoever you have your phone service through, and it would be like getting an extra SIM card, and you would plug it in there, and then you would have 4G or whatever you've got hook up. Most people, if they work from their trailer, they'll have that option. But generally speaking, people just go with the free Wi-Fi. So there is a paid version, but most people just use the free Wi-Fi. Keep in mind that you can go to their Wi-Fi Ranger website, and they've got tons of good videos, all kinds of literature, and there's an 800 number you can call to and talk to people if you need to. Alright, so your TV is obviously just that, just a basic TV. It's a 12 volt TV though, so it'll run on either 12 volt or 110. Your air conditioner obviously has just got the control panel, the controls right there. It does not have a heater in it. There's no heat strip. They almost never do. It's not really efficient, so they don't bother with them. You can add them on, but this one, if you see anything about heat, it does not have any kind of heating in it. All the heat would be done with your furnace. All right. Okay, so I think that covers everything on the inside. That isn't just totally self-evident. So let's go outside. If I can down without breaking my neck here, I'll be all set. Let me spin around here. Okay. Okay, so here we are. You've got an awning, obviously. I showed you where the batteries are, your spare tire, your power tongue jack, all that sort of thing. Your extra storage items. Here we are over in the water section. So, 9 times out of 10, if you're unless you're doing rustic camping, when you get to the campsite, they'll have a city water hookup. So you're just going to hook your hose onto here, turn on the faucet, and you're all set. It pressurizes your trailer. Now, if for some reason, or not for some reason, if you happen to go to a campground that does not have plumbing on the campsite, you can fill the fresh water tank right here, right? So if you do that, you can use the onboard pump, and the trailer will operate just like there's city water. It just pumps you're just pumping your own water. It's a 12-volt pump, and you can operate everything that you could with city water. But you have to fill this obviously in advance. Some of the older state parks will have a fill station when you first get through the gate, but no plumbing on the campsite. Some state forests or more rustic places, you'd have to fill it more in advance in town or wherever you can fill before you get to the park. But you can use everything just like you have city water. Okay, I guess I'm going overboard on that. It's a pretty basic idea. This is just a hookup for a solar panel to charge your battery if you wanted to add another one on. These are your low point drains. That's just for winterizing and dewinterizing. This port here, the one that says antifreeze inlet, that has to do with winterizing the trailer. You would make up a hose basically, it would screw on there, and the other end would go into a gallon of antifreeze, and you use the water pump to pump the antifreeze through the system. Always bypass your water heater first. There are bypass valves on the back of this. You would gain access to it by removing the cushions on your couch/bed inside, and you would bypass the water heater before you pump any antifreeze in. Okay. All right. So for electric, you have a little switch down here. Let me see if you can see that. Yes, it's a rocker switch. Off, on. It's off. That powers the heating element that's behind this cover here. Okay, so that's electric. The switch for gas is inside. You can light it on gas also. Most people use the electric, but you can if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can just turn this on to heat up some water to use it. Okay, and this is your drain plug down here. It's an 1 1/16 socket to drain it. All right. Just one-handed here. Okay, so back here, let me show you. So right now, if you see the panel here, it says we got a flooded battery, which just means it's a wet battery. It's sealed, but it's wet. So right now you see a picture of the sun. It was narrow, pointing at some solar panels. We're gaining 2.4 amps right now. The way it's where it's sitting and the angle of the sun and all that, we can get 2.4 amps. Obviously you can get much more of that when the sun's in the right position and it's, everything lines up perfectly. You can get quite a bit more. Now if you just push the B, the two batteries are wired together, so you don't get separate readings for each battery the way this is set up. So you're going to push B. Your battery's at 70, well, let me go back here. You got 12.5 volts in your battery. It should be up to about, when you're plugged in and it's charged, it'll be more like 13.4, something like that. You're 72%, let me push it again. 72% charged, because we run it off a battery and inverting. Your amp hours, so you get the general idea. You can go through it and check and see what your solar panel is doing and what your batteries are doing from this right here. Okay, the range, you're just going to light it with a lighter, of course. Every plug in the trailer, there's only a few of them, but they're all wired through a GFCI right here. Okay. Let me tilt this here, see if I can get a better view of it. So this is your monitor panel. Your battery is 2/3 charged. If you can see it, I'm trying to see if I've got a good pic. There we go. Fresh water tank has got 2/3 in it, but we're water testing it. Black is empty, gray is empty. You can see it gradually have some 1/3 increments. You do not have a black tank on this trailer, by the way, so it's always going to be empty. This is a standard panel. So the black tank will not tell you anything because you don't have one. You have a gray tank here, and that's the dump valve for it down there. Okay. So if you want to turn your water pump, I told you there's a second switch for the electric outside. So you would turn that on once you've, always make sure there's water in the tank before you use it. Before you turn on the gas or electric, you got to make sure there's water in it. But you would turn the electric switch on when you're ready to be using it. Then you can turn it on and off here. To light it on gas, you do it right here. Your water pump, I told you, has an onboard water pump that you use to pump your water from the fresh tank or winterizing your trailer. That's right here. Okay. Very basic stuff. Microwave works like any other microwave. Your refrigerator is a gas absorption refrigerator, so you can see it'll work on either gas or electric. So right now it's on 110 AC because it's inverting, right? You can run it on gas just by going like this. It'll light on gas, and if this check light comes on, it means it faulted. You just turn it off and turn it on again to cycle it through. But auto, basically, the reason they call it auto instead of electric, because it automatically seeks out 110 AC. If it can't find it, it'll automatically switch to gas. If this battery was to run down to where it could not invert anymore, it would automatically switch over to gas. So electricity takes parameters, gas takes second, so it'll always use one or the other. Okay? I'm going to shut it off now because we're going to be transporting it, and there's no reason to keep inverting at this point. Okay, so that about covers it. It's a small trailer, but there's a lot packed into it. Your kayak racks go on the top. They just slide over the T-rack. Right there, you can see right there. So you just adjust them how you want them. You can either keep your wheel on the front or you've got a foot pad. Keep in mind that if you got the wheel down, you always want to block the wheels so it doesn't roll away, because a little one like this, some good gusts of wind, it can roll away. It'll kind of embarrassing chasing your trailer through the campsite, so you got to think about your image. So okay. All right, so I think that about covers it. I went through the water system, the water heater system, how the electrical works. It's all very basic, but like I said, a lot of it packed into a little trailer. Very energy efficient, so it's a great thing. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer at National RV Detroit. And one last thing I want to mention to you that I didn't touch on is inspecting the roof and the roof seals. You have to go up there 3 times a season at least. You'll go up on the roof. You can walk up there, just be careful. You're going to check every place you see sealant from the factory. They use a lap sealant called Dicor. So you're going to look at the sealant. You're going to look for separation or cracking starting. You may go up there for years and not have to touch it up. You might have to touch it up after a year. You just don't know. That's why you inspect it. It's for your own. It's to protect your investment and make sure your trailer stays nice and dry and in good shape for a long, long time. So you want to inspect the roof at least 3 times a season, like I said. Also, on the sides of the trailer, any place you see caulk from the factory, like right there, this is something called Clear ProFlex. Never use caulk from the hardware store. It just won't hold up. So always get it from an RV place. They'll know what you need. So make sure you inspect your seals. Okay, that's where I'm going with this. Obviously, make sure you inspect them at least 3 times a season. It's odds are you'll have to do nothing. It'll take you longer to drag your ladder over there and get up on the roof than it will to actually inspect it. But it's well worth it, and it's very important to do. All trailers are the same. They need to be inspected. That's just part of owning one. So, okay. All right, so thank you very much, and have lots of fun with it. Thank you.